Hello everyone and welcome back. To this lecture we're going to talk about the edit menu shortcuts. So let's open up Photoshop if you haven't already. And the first thing I want you to do is create a new document. So we're going to use the keyboard shortcut that we learned in the previous lecture, Control N, to create a new document. Okay, so if I click inside of Photoshop and I hit Control N, we're going to give it a name of Untitled 4. I'm going to hit OK. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Control Shift S to save, and we're going to save this on the desktop. And now what I need to do is I need to create some content so we can learn about the edit menu shortcuts, because the ones we're going to be focusing on here is undo, redo, toggle last state, fade, cut, copy, copy merge, paste, and paste special. Those are the first couple that we're going to talk about. So what I want to do is I'm going to create a couple layers here. So go right down here and click on create a new layer. And I'm going to grab the paintbrush and we're going to kind of go like this. And then I'm going to grab another layer. I'm going to change the color to black, and then we're going to do that. And then I'll do one more. And let's just pick red. That's fine. And we'll do the same thing, okay? Now, so we've created 3 layers. So to undo something, we're going to hit Control Z. Okay, so that's the first thing. So you can see undo new layer. Now, if we wanted to redo that, we're going to hit Shift Control Z, and that will redo what we just undid. Okay. To toggle the last state, we're going to hit Alt Control Z. So that's going to undo it again. And then to redo it, we're just going to do Control Shift Z. Okay. So basically what this does is it redos and undoes what we did. And this is important because when you're working with multiple layers and you're editing, let's say you're editing a picture and you're touching something up and you do 50 touch-ups, sometimes you're going to have to undo what you're doing. Okay? Once you get very good at it, you're going to do less, but you're still going to need that tool. It's a very important tool in Photoshop. Okay? So, to do fade, we're going to hit Shift Control F. Okay? And what that's going to do is it's going to pop up here and you can select the mode and we can edit the fade. Okay, so what it's doing is we have this one layer selected, layer 3, and we're adding a fade to it. So we can fade it. We can change the mode. So we can do difference, we can do color burn, you know. You can do all sorts of fun stuff with that. Now, to undo that, what are we going to do? We're going to hit Control Z, and that's going to undo that effect. Okay. Now, to cut this layer, we're going to hit Control X. Okay. In fact, you're going to have to hit Control A to select all, and then Control X. Okay. Now, if you wanted to paste this on a new layer, let's say you wanted to paste it on layer 4, then what we're going to do is we're going to hit Control V. Okay, and if I wanted to paste it in place, we're going to hit Shift Control V. Okay, if I want to paste into, and I'm going to hide these 2 layers so we can see what we're doing, Alt Shift Control V to paste into. Okay, if we want to search, we're going to hit Control F. Okay, so we can search inside of Photoshop for different things. Okay, so if I hit that again, it'll disappear. Content aware scale. If you hit Alt Shift Control C, okay, now we know what the content aware scale is, basically, where you can see the border of the layer. Okay, the other way to do that is Control T, which is the transform tool. Okay, but that's actually what I'm going to be talking right now. Next is the free transform tool is Control T, and what that's going to do is let you move it around, resize it, etc. So we can change it and move it over here in the corner. Okay, if I hit again, so Shift Control T, I can shrink it down multiple times. So if I hit Control Z and bring it back up, and then I want to bring it down one, I hit Control Shift. Well, actually Shift Control T. Either way it works. Control Shift T or Shift Control T. And what it's going to do is it's going to proportionally drop the size down. Okay, so if I do undo, actually let's redo it. So if I do Control Shift Z again, there we go, and then do Control Shift T, bring that down, then I can go to this layer, the black brush here, and do the same thing. Okay, and bring that down to size. And then Control T to transform it or move it. And then there you go. So that is that. Now the color settings, we can do Shift Control K, and then you can edit the color settings. Okay. Now you're wondering why is this sequence this way? Well, the reason why it's that way is all the keyboard shortcuts are right here. Okay, that we're going over. And now we're going to talk about keyboard shortcuts. So in order to get there, we're going to do Alt Shift Control K. Okay, that's going to take you to the keyboard shortcuts and menus. And what you can do in here, we're on the tools right now, but if I go to application menus, we're in the edit menu right now. You can see all the keyboard shortcuts right here. Okay, and you can add to that. You can click on one, add a keyboard shortcut. I'm not going to do that at this point, but that is a possibility of, you know, changing up the keyboard shortcuts. I want to keep it as default right now so you can learn the ones that they have, and as you're comfortable, then you can move on to that if you see fit. Okay, so I'm going to go to menus, and so like I said, you can go to any menu here and you can edit the Photoshop default keyboard shortcuts to whatever you want. So if you wanted to change something, you could. Okay, so that's the keyboard shortcuts and the menus. So let me go rewind for a second. If I hit Alt Shift Control K, that takes me to keyboard shortcuts. Okay, if I hit Alt Shift Control M, that takes me to the menu section of that. And if I hit Control K, that takes me to preferences. So that will take me right to preferences, and then I can go in and I can work on whatever I need to in preferences. Okay, so that's the edit menu keyboard shortcuts. All right, so thanks for watching this lecture. I'll see you in the next lecture.